Can you hear me now? Yes, no? Can you hear noise, sound coming out of my mouth? Can you hear it? Okay. Thank you, Danny. I think I need a new one of these things. It's getting kind of old and ratty. Anybody got questions? My time, use it. I got better things to do. You thought you was tripping. Why is that? Was it making like weird noises or something? Was it like crackling or you just couldn't hear me and thought you was going deaf or something? This thing's probably like 3 years old. I should probably get a new one. This is a brand new phone though, so I know that's not the problem. Y'all be careful with them pop socket things or them stand things that you just stick on the back of your phones. Careful with the fucking things. Live age restricted. Your live may contain themes not suitable for younger audiences and has been age restricted. Oh, fine. I don't know why it wasn't age restricted to fucking begin with. Encourage your viewers to share your live, and I'm encouraging my viewers to share the live and invite their friends. Oh, the vape? Oh. You ain't tripping. The pop socket, y'all. Be careful with them things on your phone. I always, because I'm so busy, I take my phone into the bathtub with me. Like always, and I answer client messages and work on orders and stuff. Multitasking always. Fucking pop socket fell off the back of my phone. It fell right in the tub, man. Right in the fucking tub. That thing wasn't even a year old. I had to go buy a new phone. Y'all be careful with them damn things. This new case I got a thing built into it, so I know it's not gonna pop the fuck off. That's bullshit, y'all. Watch them damn things. Does anybody have questions yet? Use my time wisely, y'all. I'm giving it to you. You have a treasure trove of knowledge sitting here. Utilize it. I don't get to do this very often. It's been a long time since I did one. What kind of witchcraft do I practice? I do a little of this and a little of that, but I'm not eclectic. I have a couple different paths. I do my ancestral path of brotchery, as it says up above, or powwow in Pennsylvania, as it's called. Appalachian folk magic, whatever people want to call it. We didn't call it anything. It didn't have a name or a label. It's just the way you did things. Everybody likes labels nowadays. So I do that. I do root work, conjure. I'm initiated in a couple ATRs, so I do that too. And Spiritismo, we do that too. But you never mix them. I always liken it to hats. When you're doing one thing, you put this hat on, and you're doing that thing. And when you go to do another thing, you got to take that hat off and put on another hat. You don't wear multiple hats. One hat at a time. Well, okay, since nobody has questions, would you guys like to hear about the Mississippi Pagan Meet and Greet? I hope none of them are watching. So we did Mises at the beginning of the month, and my spirits got on my ass because I'm not doing things locally. Like, I do my shit online, and I have my remote clients and think, but I'm not really doing a whole lot locally, other than I got a product case down here in the corner at this tattoo shop. So they were like bitching at me that I really need to build a local community, like here in Baptist Bible Belt, Mississippi. So I found a group of pagans, used loosely, that meet like 5 miles away from me. They meet once a month. So I was like, okay, I have to do the socialize thing, and we fucking hates it. But I did it. I went. It was alright. This month I might not enjoy so much, but a very eclectic group of people. Kind of interesting. They thought I was very mysterious and like all this thing. I'm like, I don't know about building a fucking community here, but I'm trying. At least I get brownie points for that. The group consists of like a Buddhist and an Omniist. And then there's like a lady that's like labels herself eclectic but does like a lot of Kabbalist kind of stuff. And then there's other ones that just are like, we're pagan, like one or two of those. It's unusual. What is an old-fashioned way of doing spell work that uncommonly done in this time? Like a kerosene. I love lamps. It's a light in the dark kind of. I love lamps. Not necessarily kerosene, but oil lamps. Love them. Use that shit. A lot of old timey shit that's not utilized nowadays, and not a lot of people know the fuck about, are dirts and waters, which is why I made a whole class on that subject that is available on my website. Everybody wants to go out and spend all this money on crystals and things and wands and like all this stuff, and you don't need all that stuff. You can walk out your door and get umpteen hundred kinds of dirt that will work just as good, or waters from different places that are fucking amazing. And it's free per se. You have to leave an offering when you take things, but I mean, it's really not costing you anything. I wish people knew more about that stuff and utilized it more. And I think the thing that people does not understand, they want to complicate everything. Stop complicating shit, man. A simple shit works the best. At Spiritismo, we say you should be able to do everything that you need to do with a candle and a glass of water. And I'm not talking about a spell candle. I'm talking about a fucking white candle and a glass of water. You should be able to make spirit move with that shit. I think people ritualize things too much. They want everything to rhyme and be pretty and fancy and glittery and have all the things, and they don't. To me, it's like people get a fancy new car and they don't get the keys to learn how to drive it. They got like this big fancy thing and no keys. They don't know how to drive the shit. And they don't need to spend all that money. Love lamps also. I inherited my great-grandfather's lamp, and it was made in the Civil War. That is an awesome heirloom. I have one I inherited from my grandfather as well, which is still at my mother's house in Pennsylvania. She's supposed to bring it when she comes down, probably in next month or two. That's going to be interesting as well. Yeah, lamps are great. You don't need all the candles. You can make any kind of spell work pretty much in a lamp. And they're reusable, refillable. Don't gotta buy all them candles. Buy some lamp oil. You could do anything you need with a lamp, pretty much. Very big on ancestral ways. Do what your ancestors did. Use what they had. you've been here before, haven't you? I'm pretty sure I remember you. I got a new phone stand. Makes it a little bit easier to read things with my shitty glasses. I got an eye doctor appointment next week. I'm getting new fucking glasses. I'm gonna have them put the bifocals up a little fucking higher, so I don't have to do like this every time I want to read something that's not down here. It's kind of ridiculous. But this stand is kind of helpful. At least you're not really looking up my nose now when I'm trying to read shit. Kind of helpful. And I got it on TikTok Shop. The first thing I ever bought off TikTok Shop. It's alright. It's pretty cool. It's handy. Yes, I have. I first saw you from YouTube with a cemetery etiquette video a long while ago. That was a long while ago. That was probably 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah. God. We're getting so old. Lord have mercy. I can't even fathom. I don't know. But I'm starting to think like parents and grandparents and all them shits were not fucking crazy. When we'd be like, you don't understand us. You're old and you don't get it. I'm starting to get that now. Because I don't understand. 95% of what these kids are doing nowadays, especially when it comes to witchcraft. Maybe we can talk about that. What, cemetery etiquette? There's a whole ass YouTube that I did about that years ago, but it's pretty simple. I mean, you just never go to the cemetery uncovered. Always want to have your head covered. If you're wearing a tank top or something where your shoulders are bare, carry a shawl or a scarf or something to cover your shoulder, cover your back, cover your head. It depends on what you're going to the cemetery for. Like if you're going to visit is a different circumstance than if you were going to like collect dirt or do something in the cemetery. But you're always going to approach the gate, state your purpose, ask permission to enter. When you are granted permission, you're going to toss 9 pennies on the ground and keep going. I'll give you all a little tip too. One of my favorite things. When you go to the cemetery, always take flowers. Always take flowers with you. Number 1, good offerings. Number 2, people don't really side-eye you that much if you're walking around the cemetery with a bundle of flowers. They think you're there to visit somebody. Maybe you are there to visit somebody, but never go to the cemetery empty-handed. Take some flowers with you. Once you're in there, it depends what you're going to do. If you want cemetery dirt, you're going to get it from the 4 corners of the cemetery. Not graves, 4 corners of the cemetery. Leave offerings. Offerings can be candy. Throw some M&Ms in there. Throw some coins in there. You can pour a little bit of liquor in there or coffee. And you always got to fill the hole that you take. If you dig a hole, you got to make the whole hole. Get me? When you leave the cemetery, you're going to walk out backwards. Make sure you keep your eye on the cemetery and walk out backwards to that gate. As you pass through the gate, you ask the gatekeeper to keep anything from following you out. Make sure you're clean when you walk out. Don't let anything follow me home. Don't let anything pass this gate with me. Throw 9 more pennies and head the fuck out and cleanse yourself. Cleanse yourself with Florida water. So I always carry a little bottle with me everywhere. Why 4 corners and not like just one? Because the 4 corners encompasses the entire energy of the cemetery that you're at. You got the 4 directions, the 4 corners. If you look at the corners, like a gate or a fence or a line, you get the four corners, you're getting the entire energy from the entire graveyard or cemetery. Do y'all even know the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery? The cemetery has no church. A graveyard is consecrated on church ground. Those are different as well. Depends on if you want consecrated or non-consecrated dirt. Some cemeteries are consecrated too, but you know they're going to be consecrated if they got church. Cemetery etiquette's pretty simple, but it's very, 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 very important. I see a lot of clients fuck themselves up fucking around in cemeteries, ghost hunting or doing graveyard picnics or I don't know what the hell they doing, but they get fucked up. They don't know cemetery etiquette. Very important. Hell no, just business. Funny enough, but in a lot of traditions, the gatekeeper of the cemeteries is usually also the spirit of the marketplace and business. A lot of times they share that same duty. Now, there can be multiple different spirits at a gate. And if you specifically have a relationship or work with one of the gatekeepers, then that's the one you're going to talk to. If you don't know or you don't work with any of them or anything like that, you're just going to be general. Just ask permission. Leave your coins. Do your shit and get the fuck out. Yeah, a lot of people fuck themselves up in cemeteries. A lot. I mean, these rules hold true for anything. Even if you're just going to visit, a relative or an ancestor or a friend, or if you're not going in there for business and to collect things or do anything, you still need to use cemetery etiquette. Even if you're going to a funeral, you still need to use cemetery etiquette. Very important. Somebody told me that they had a client or something that was doing love work in a cemetery, and I'm like, she's like, does that make any sense to you at all? I'm like, no, it ain't. Nope. Unless it's like breakup love work or something. No. I am most close with Norse goddess Hale, and before anything I do, I always ask her permission for always. You always need to check for anything. That's why I don't do work for clients without readings. You gotta get a reading first. You got to get a reading. I don't do shit without a reading. I don't do shit without permission. From at least one, if not all. And hopefully they agree if I go to more than one. If they don't agree, then we're in a mess. Kind of dead tonight. Lord, I usually have a lot more people in here than this. I don't even know how many are in here because that number up there is never accurate, but I'm kind of dead. Nobody's asking questions. Because it's a Wednesday? Is that why? I don't know. I got time when I got time. Anybody? What you doing, Danny? You in and out, in and out, in and out. Coming in, coming out. Thank you for the likes. Yeah, y'all do the like thing because they put it out to more people. At least that's what I'm told. Like the more likes, the more they put it in like the For You page or whatever. Like away. Y'all hear my new purdies? These are good for protection. My madrina she always voice texts me. And she's voice texting me, and I was hearing this, like on every voice text. And I'm like, what is that? Like the tinkly jingly, like it's really pretty. What the fuck is it? She's like, oh, it's this bracelet, sterling silver, blah blah blah. So I had to go get me one because I wanted. Well, not only is it protection, but it sounds really fucking pretty, and I like it. That's another thing my spirits yelled at me about. And Misa, I'm supposed to be more feminine. At least try. We'll always work on it. Of course, I've been hearing that for years from my spirits. But I have improved a lot. I really have. I used to be like a massive tomboy. I try to do the feminine thing. Sometimes I do my nails. And I put makeup and a face on or something. I wear a lot more dresses and skirts than I used to. Well, I appreciate all the likes, y'all. Does anybody actually have questions, though? My dog ran into me when I was out working on the greenhouse the other day. She's a puppy, and she's a Cane Corso. Massive fucking puppy. Like, she's already 80 pounds. She's only like 6 months old. She was zoomies, man. Zooming all around the yard. And I was working on cutting this fence up to build beds in the greenhouse. I didn't see her coming. She didn't see me, man. She hit me so fucking hard. Like, I felt like I got hit by a car, man. It was like an unstoppable force met an immovable object. She hit me, and she flew this way, and I flew that way. And she fell down, and I fell down. And she was laying on her side, like, looking at me, and I was looking at her, like, what the fuck? She fucked my knee up, man. My knee is hurt. I couldn't walk for a couple days. Then I was on crutches for a couple days. Now I'm kind of getting around without the crutches. I'm hobbling around. Still can't really go very far, but shit happens, man. Shouldn't have had her in the yard while I was working in the first place. Divination tips for runes or tarot. I'm very beginner. Don't really read tarot. I do Lenormand, but runes might have been the very first divination tool I ever picked up. But I haven't touched them in years. I got some nice ones over here. I read runes differently than most people probably do because I don't read them for clients. If I'm using those, I'm just using them for personal things. The way I do it is I get my bag and I'll pray over it, and then I'll like concentrate on my question, and I'll be shushing it up and stuff, and I'll stick my hand in there. Shush your hand around, shush my hand around, shush my hand, and I'm asking my question, shush my hand around, and as I'm shushing my hand, I pick up the stones, and I let them fall out of my hand, and I will do this over and over and over again until one of them sticks to my hand and doesn't fall out of my hand. That's the answer to my question. So I will take that one, and then if I need more clarification, rinse and repeat. Do the same thing. That's the way I I do my runes, which is probably a lot different. But all of my hands-on divination tools, like my coins, my Shamalongos, my things that I throw, or I'm actually making a bone set. We're gonna work on that. It's a very touch-sensitive thing, and I know I see people on here with their tarot cards, and people ask questions, and they're shuffling, and one flies out, and they're like, "Oh, that's." I don't do that shit. I will hold the tool in my hand until I feel it. Until I feel to drop those fucking things, and usually you can't help it. Like you go poof, like you want them out of your hand. It's like a force, but it's, I don't know, with me, I don't know if it's because the hands on the healer, the you know, heal the hands thing or something, but I'm probably not even making any sense to anybody. But it's just a feeling. When you're using tools like that, it's a feeling in your hands, and you know when to drop it or what stone is in your hand. That's the one that's the answer, because you can feel it. I'm probably not making a lot of sense. Probably not making a lot of sense. I don't know how to explain it. I actually don't. My runes that I got are from like, God, from like the 80s. I think it was the first tool I ever picked up for divination. But I can't describe the feeling. But if it's something you're throwing, like you have to throw it. Like when you get that, when you know it's time to throw it, you have to, because your hands are just like, like get it out. That's the one, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it. People are probably like, she crazy. Well, and that's for me. Like, it might be different for other people. That's the way my shit works and my spirits work. Like, other people, it might be you hear something, or you see something, or you know something, or you smell something, or, I mean, that's just me. And I know you can do rune spreads and just like tarot and stuff, but I don't read them that way, because I don't read them for other people. Those are just, if I pick them up, I'm picking them up for me and nobody else. So I use them differently. As far as cards, I'm more of a fan of playing cards. And we're working on Lenormand, because I've never been a card jockey. Never been big on any kind of cards. I've worked with playing cards. When I tell y'all I got my ass chewed out at this fucking Mises, oh my God. I got my ass chewed out. They was like, you gonna read fucking cards? I'm like, I can't read fucking cards. It's not my thing, I don't do it. You're gonna fucking do it. Shit. Yeah. So, I have an elder teacher who's actually a Hugon, and he's very good with Lenormand cards, and he's teaching me how to read Lenormand cards, and that's what we're gonna do, I guess. People don't understand on the spiritual journey, while it is a lot about, you know, control and bettering yourself and being in control and being disciplined and all these things, especially if you work with spirits, realize you are nothing but a servant. You are nothing but a servant or a messenger of spirit and or. So when they tell you, you gotta fucking do something, you really don't have a choice. Mm-hmm. it comes to cards, I got very yelled at for being stubborn. So, we're working on it. I like the Lenormand. I do. I've never owned a deck before. But after the Misa, I went and bought one. And it's pretty cool. It's kind of intimidating. I don't know if anybody knows anything about Lenormand divination. But it's not like tarot, where you pull 7, 10, 9 cards, whatever, and you do a spread. That's not the way Lenormand's read. Lenormand, you read the entire deck in one sitting for a reading. A little intimidating, but I'm also finding it easier on me than fucking tarot cards. So hopefully I'm gonna get it down all right. I got the what's it called? Old style Lenormand deck. We've been fucking with it. Yeah, it's 32 cards. It's not like, how many is in a tarot? 72 or 74 or something like that? Yeah, the Lenormand is 32 cards. There's 34 cards. It's either 32 or 34. But you read the entire deck for a reading. Like, not just a couple cards. Because they all play off each other and stuff. So it's interesting. And accurate and very in-depth. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. The guy who's teaching me, our first session, he was like, well, I'm just going to give you a reading. So you can, like, look and see how it's laid out. You can see, as I'm reading, how the cards are playing off each other and blah, blah, blah. So my first lesson was a reading. Accurate as fuck. Accurate as fuck. Damn fucking good. I like it. I like it a lot. So, we're going to get it down. We're going to get it down. I might have another month or so of lessons. And my dude, this teacher, he's like, I learned this shit in 2 afternoons with the guy who taught me. And I'm like, that's good. I'm happy for you. I don't know if I'm going to be that easy, but we're going to work on it. Would you like to see my Lenormand deck? It's pretty nice. I like it. Hold on. I'll grab it. I got to move my little standy thing. See, y'all get me up. I was all comfy. Hey, I don't want to hear your shit. Shut up. Shush! No. Get away. Get away from the door. Don't stand there with your shit. Get. Beat it. Shut up. Can y'all hear this fucking puppy? Shush! Oh my god. She's so annoying. She's not even my puppy. It's my husband's puppy. Honey! Yeah, Dad's gonna come beat your butt. You best get the fuck out of here. She's just standing at my door, like, being annoying. She's the one that knocked me down. Oh, this is my Lenormand deck. Old style. It's probably backwards. I don't know if it says how many cards is in here. I thought it's either 32 or 34. The guy is teaching me, though, he was like take the booklet that comes in the deck and toss it the fuck out. Because it's no good. And just do it the way I'm teaching you. And I'm like, okay, 32. No. 38. 38 cards. Still way less than a tarot deck. So, like, they're pretty simple, but, the meanings are very in-depth, and when they start playing off each other, so, like, there's the crossroads. They're kind of similar to an oracle deck, but Lenormand is a thing all on its own, and it's read a very specific way. So you got, like, the book, and clouds, stork. The meanings are specific. There's a ring, a dog. And the thing you'll notice about Lenormand is they all have a playing card. A playing card that goes with the card. So if you read playing cards, you can probably pick these up pretty easily. However, the guy that's teaching me said that that can actually confuse some people if they do read playing cards, because the meanings usually aren't exactly the same way that they read them. There's lilies, and there's a ship. So working on these so far, like, ship is like long distance things that are far away, or long distance travel, or a long period of time. Oh, that's the other thing about reading this. The way it's laid out is it reads 6 months. Like, there's a specific time set of row, and like each row is like a week. And so when you do a reading with these, it's like 6 months, and it can, depending on, okay, so in the deck there's a man card and there's a woman card. So when you throw the deck out, depending on where, if you're reading a woman, the woman in the deck is going to be the focus, right? So depending on where, when you throw the deck out, because you read the whole thing, where the woman falls. Depending on where the woman falls, you could have like 2 months prior, the now, and then like 2 months ahead. So like when I had my reading, I was like right at the top. So there was no past. There was no past in my reading. It was all now and future for the next 6 months. And when I tell you this shit is accurate as fuck, I'm liking them. I'm liking them a lot. So you got like a bear, and we have a tower. Now the tower in Lenormand does not mean the same thing as the tower in tarot. You have a fox, a coffin, which could be likened to the death card, but they mean different things. And you have like mice. It's interesting. It's interesting. Definitely interesting. You got a key and a lock. Whips. Letter. Mountain. Mountain is pretty straightforward. You got a mountain to climb. You got a blockage. You got something in the fucking way. You got a sun, just like tarot. But again, the meanings are different. These are pretty straightforward. So like fish. Fish is prosperity and money, stuff like that. And you also don't read these at all in reverse. They're always read straightforward, straight up. So like Rider, where the ship was long distance things or long distance travel and stuff like that, the Rider can be a lot of things, but Rider can be a car or a vehicle or a short distance a short time. Um, it can also be like a messenger. Um, they have the meaning is also what they mean. It depends on the cards that are around them when you throw them out. It's like that will influence. It's like there's the lady. It's like depending on if you're reading a woman, depending on where the lady falls, is the time frame that you get and all that stuff. It's a pretty cool system. It's a pretty cool system. We're working on it. We're learning it. Hey, Carlene. How's that bath coming along? Thank you for the gift. I've been trying to get David to come on live with me for like a minute, and he's like really busy. Like every time I'm like, I'm gonna go do a live, and he's like, I got some shit going on. Is it because it's Wednesday? Like, what is going on? Like, people should be pretty much off of work unless they work nights. Is it because it's a Wednesday? I would think people don't have anything else to do on Wednesday. Why aren't they here? What?
We're gonna get a blanket for Donnie.
A blanket for Donnie?
Yeah, I think all the cats pooped on her, peed on her.
He had a whole bunch of blankets. Where are they at?
Where they at?
Well, I don't know. Ask him. I thought he had a bunch of blankets.
I think he needs one.
Well, they're gonna be in the closet. Just don't get.
Cat closet?
Yeah, but don't make sure it's not one of the good blankets. Lord, I made it. Going to do it Friday night, and I cleaned my house with everything else. Good job. You have to do that regularly, girlfriend. That's not a once and done. That's not a once a year. That's a do it once a month thing where you live. We did some fun cleansing this last week. Machete. Clean your house with a flaming sword. That's fun. Yeah, it's cool, but it's harsh. Very, very harsh. I'm just wondering if that's something that actually might benefit you. Because the reason I did it was because I still had, even though I've been here 5 years and I've cleansed my home every which way south to fucking Satan's goddamn asshole, regularly, there was still some things that were left over from the previous people, from the witchcraft that was thrown on this land, from the elementals, from the land spirit. There was shit. There was still shit. And I had to do that kind of cleansing to really fucking cut it out. However, it's harsh. When you do that kind of cleansing, you need to really follow it up with some shit, because you got to bring all that good shit back in. What the fuck is that? Yeah, I followed it up with really good shit, and things still blew the fuck up. It's harsh. It's fucking harsh. But my house is clean. Like, it's clean, clean. Shit. Does anybody have questions? Because I seriously got better things to fucking do. If I'm not helping people, if I'm not here for a reason, I got better shit to do. Anybody? Anybody? Bunch of voyeurs? I gotta get this plant outside. It's time for her to go back outside. Winter is over. Ancestor work for beginners. You know, I have an entire course on ancestral veneration on my website. For beginners, a candle, a glass of water, and a cup of coffee. Sit down and have a conversation with your people. People usually start with people they know, relatives they're aware of. So if it's your grandma, your grandpa, your great grandma, whoever it is you want to talk to, sit down, candle, glass of water, 2 cups of coffee, one for you and one for them. Sit down and have some coffee and some conversation. And start building relationships. The love oil. What about the love oil? What about it, girlie? At home? Yeah, at home. Yeah. Where else would you do it? Are you going to go to the cemetery? Have a powwow with the ancestors? Yes, at home. The thing about ancestors and why they are so important, and why I don't understand why people don't understand ancestors, but your ancestors are you. Literally. They are you, you are them. They are in your blood. They are your DNA. Their memories have genetically been passed down on to you. Including their traumas sometimes. They're always with you. They're in you. They walk with you. They're your foundation. What happens when a home doesn't have a strong foundation? It crumbles, right? It gets fucked up. It's not a strong, good home. The walls are shaky and the floor's bowing, and build that foundation and make it as strong as fucking possible and lift it up high. As you uplift and elevate your ancestors, you elevate yourself, and you uplift yourself, and you make yourself stronger and more powerful, because they are you and you are them. As you elevate them, you elevate yourself. It really works, right? Just asking. Well, yeah, it really works. What kind of question is that? I don't sell shit that doesn't really work. Have you even tried it yet? You don't sit there and ask me if it really works. Lord have mercy, girl. Has everything I ever sent you really fucking worked? That's gonna be the same. You need to learn some patience. It ain't gonna happen. You put shit in motion to manifest, and it happens when it happens. When it's supposed to happen, and it's time to happen. But you're putting that out there. Attracting it. You think it does, and yes, I know I do. Alright then, that was a silly question now, wasn't it? Harleen took the ancestral veneration course. We've been working on that for quite a while. I'm dealing with some anxiety and lack of motivation. Any tips? I'm not a medical professional, and I'm not giving medical advice, and I will always say seek the opinion of a medical professional first. First things first. However, if you've done that, in my experience, anxiety, especially, and lack of motivation, anxiety especially can a lot of times be caused by spiritual attachments. A lot of times. A lot of times that can be taken care of with some really good cleansing. Not in all cases, which is why I say you should see a medical professional. But in some cases, that can be a spiritual cause because our bodies react physically to things that are spiritually. That could be a culprit. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying cleansing doesn't hurt. What if we don't really know our ancestors? Doesn't matter. They know you. Doesn't matter if you don't know your ancestors. Doesn't matter if you're adopted. You really don't know your ancestors. Actually, adopted people are pretty fucking lucky because they get 2 sets of ancestors, which nobody else gets. There is a thing of adopted ancestors. So when you're adopted, you are brought into a new family with a new lineage, with a new name, and they have brought you in. You are now part of their family. So you have that, adopted ancestors. But you also have your genetic ancestors. You get 2 sets, which is a lot of motherfucking ancestors. Adopted people are pretty lucky in the ancestral ring. Yes, you do have to be more patient. What's messed with vibes? You are adopted. Well, there you go. You're one of the lucky ones. You are one of the lucky ones. You get lots of ancestors. Yes. Sit down. To start, candle, glass of water, 2 cups of coffee. Start having conversations. Introduce yourself. Build a relationship. You don't have to know their names in the beginning. You don't have to know who they are. And if you have adopted ancestors that passed, maybe an adopted grandmother, grandfather, something like that, then you can start with them if that makes you more comfortable. Like I said, I have an entire course. It's a 6 or 7 class course, a full course on my website that, breaks the entirety of ancestral veneration down. It includes how to do an elevation step by step, how to set up their space, how to identify, how to communicate with them, different divination methods and how they work and how to use them. Offerings, it goes in depth into the entirety of ancestral veneration. It's kind of my thing. One of my initiations is into it's called the Cult of the Ancestors and the Dead, and that's one of the things that I'm initiated into. A very little known sect, but it's kind of one of my specialities. Big on ancestors. You want to step into your power, you want to know your shit, get with your fucking ancestors. We should cleanse and protect area before and after. Before and after what? Before and after what? What are you doing? What are we cleansing and protect? Usually cleanse, if you're doing spiritual things, if you're working with spirits, if you're meditating, if you're doing witchcraft, if you're doing anything in the spiritual realm, you should be cleansing yourself and your house regularly. I call it spiritual maintenance. Just like you physically clean yourself and your house, you need to spiritually clean yourself and your house on a regular basis. And protection, yes, is always a must after the cleaning. Some protections last longer than others. It's like you're not always having to oh, I cleansed and now I have to put protection. That's not, unless you're like wiping all your salts and your sigils and all your shit away. Protection should last quite a while, depending on what it is. I just don't understand. You're saying protect area before and after what? Cleanse and protect the area before or after what? What are we doing? Yep, adopted people are very lucky when it comes to ancestors. Well, it's the same thing if you join a tradition with an initiation, and especially ATRs, because they have lineages. You know, you initiate into an ATR, you're accepted by a lineage of elders and family, and because it started off as family. And so when you initiate, you're actually being adopted into that lineage. So when you do that shit, you get that set of ancestors to work with. And depending on what tradition it is, it depends on what they're going to call it. Some call it Egun, some call it Bakulu, some call it, you're dead, you're morto. So, lots of ancestors all over the place, and they're the most important thing. If you want to know your shit, learn your people. Learn where they come from. Learn what they did. That's your shit. That's the shit that's going to work best for you, and that's going to be your best shit. And you build that foundation, and from there, you can branch off into other things if you choose. But you got to have the foundation built before you start building on top of it. And it's got to be strong. I just found a chapstick, and I was just sitting here thinking, I could really use some chapstick. Poop, there was a chapstick. Sometimes things that you think are tragedies, sometimes the things that you think, verify, continue, why? Stupid TikTok. Sometimes you think that are really things that are really bad, like misfortunes, tragedies, accidents. Sometimes those things can be the biggest blessings, and it's so fucking weird. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but somebody needs to fucking hear it. How things can get turned around and it becomes a blessing. It can actually do work to make that shit happen too, but I'm gonna have an issue with my car. So we thought it was the battery. The battery was still under warranty. It wasn't even a year old. Went and got a new battery, and it was, it was running and driving, and we thought it was good. Got it like 10 blocks down the road, and it fucking died. So now we're like, okay, it's definitely the fucking alternator. Went to go charge my battery back up overnight. Came back the next morning. Someone towed my fucking car. And I even put a note on it. I was like, don't tow my car. I went to go get my battery. Like, please don't tow it. They fucking towed it. And the bitch that called about it's gonna get hers coming up. But, it cost me quite a bit of money to get it out of the impound. And I'm like, this is definitely not what I needed. This is the worst fucking thing. Oh my God. Fucking bullshit. Bitching and moaning and griping the whole fucking time. And I get down there, to the impound place, and there's like a bunch of guys like standing around my car. They had like literally just towed it. The truck was still hot. So I get out and I'm like, let me go pay for this what the fuck ever and get my fucking car. And the guys are like, I see the note in the car. It said the battery. He was like, was it the battery? And I was like, no, I got a new battery. He was like, oh, it's the alternator. I'm like, yeah, the alternator. I gotta fix the alternator. And I didn't think nothing of it. And I went in the building and started doing the paperwork and shit to get my car out. Before I was done filling out the paperwork, one of the guys came in and he was like, we got you an alternator. And I was like, I thought they were trying to sell me an alternator. I'm like, dude, I can get a brand new one down here at fucking AutoZone for $100. Like, you know, don't try and sell me you shit, whatever. He was like, oh, you don't want it? We'll take it out. And I'm like, wait, are you saying there's an alternator in my car? He's like, it's in your back seat. And I'm like, you're giving me an alternator? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, for my car, like the right year? And he was like, yeah, we had the exact alternator that you need for your car, and it was sitting over here, and they gave it to me for free. What are the odds? What are the odds that this fucking tow yard had the exact model and year of alternator that my car needed just sitting there and fucking just gave it to me? Like, just blessings just dropped on my head, turning like tragic ass shit into a blessing. Like, you gotta love the way spirit works. Gotta fucking love that shit. Hold on, I'm scrolling back to read the questions. Use the red dust and salt and the coffin nails and have a good vibe in my house. Well, good, because you should be protected. I mean, that's all for protection stuff, girly. That's not cleansing or good vibe stuff. It's just protection, because you got nasty land. Kentucky or West Virginia? Who are you talking to? I had 3 things went wrong, and I said to self, just let it go and go with the flow. Good things are coming for me and my family. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I mean, the odds of them having that alternator, the exact one, the exact year, they gotta be astronomical. Like, the odds have to be fucking astronomical. And then he wasn't even trying to sell it to me. He just gave it to me. Just put it in my car. Pretty fucking cool. That is for your car? What is for my car? The alternator? I guess so. I guess. And what's really, there was 4 different like impound yards down there. Like, any of them could have towed my car. But that place towed my car. They had the exact alternator that I needed for my car, and they just fucking gave it to me. Yeah, it's getting put in. It's getting put in. They're working on it. Hopefully I'm gonna have it back soon. Even in tragic, misfortunate situations, don't ever lose your faith in spirit. I think that was my lesson. Like, shit was happening. I'm like, you know what? The more I'm praying, the more shit's getting fucked up. Nope. Big old blessing dropped in my lap. But the other lesson that I'm hearing right now, so I don't know who needs to hear it, is that spirit does not reward laziness. Don't expect spirit to just take care of shit or do shit or move for you or do things for you without you putting in the work. They require you to put in the work. Because let me tell you, if you have a goal and you go to spirit with it, like say you have a bill, right? And you're like, I need the money to pay this bill. We need the money to pay this bill. And you take it to spirit. You'd be like, this bill's due on this date. Please bring me the money to pay this bill. And you don't do anything to assist that. Maybe you don't have a job. You didn't go out and look for a job, or they offered you extra hours, you didn't take it. Or it could be do some work to bring that money in. Like witchcraft, like work for it, start doing stuff. Spirit is not going to take you seriously if you come with them with a request and you yourself are not working on that request in some way. They're going to be like, oh, they're just fucking off. They're not even trying. Like, why are we going to fucking do anything about this? They obviously don't want this, or they'd be fucking working. They'd be trying to get it. Spirit does not reward laziness. You can't rely on them to take care of anything without you backing it up. You have to back your request up. You have to back your word up with action, or they're not going to move for you. And I don't know who the fuck needed to hear that, but somebody needed to fucking hear it. Maybe it's somebody who will be watching it on YouTube later. What spirit? Like the universe? Like any spirit. Any spirit. Any spirit. They will not take you seriously if you're not putting in the work to try and do the thing that you're requesting. It doesn't matter what it is. If you go there and be like, oh, I'm so lonely, I want a relationship, I want a partner, I want love, I want blah, 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 but you sit on your butt on your couch and like eat potato chips and binge movies every night. You're not going out to try and meet somebody or attract somebody or even doing work for love or anything like that. Spirit's not going to move for you. They're not going to take you seriously. If you're not working for it, they're going to be like, they don't really want that shit. Why are we going to fucking do it? They obviously are not serious about it. I don't know who the fuck that was for. It might have been for me. Now, I've been working shit. I've been working. Couldn't possibly be that, but somebody needs to hear that shit. If y'all ain't never had a Misa, I highly recommend it. But you gotta, don't be all wishy-washy, man. Oh, they're pretty harsh. Pretty fucking harsh. They're gonna tell you all the shit that you don't wanna fucking hear and you don't wanna fucking deal with, and all the shit you're gonna make an excuse for, and all the shit you're gonna be stubborn about. But goddamn, is it changing? Is it transformative? What's a Misa? I could have swore we talked about Misa. You mean David didn't talk about Misa, or I didn't talk to you about Misa in the class? I feel like I need another set of hands and a head for all this stuff I'm working. I don't know. Multitask like a motherfucker. Misa is like a spiritual. The only thing I can compare it to is a seance, but it's not a seance. It's a thing that's done in a spiritismo to communicate with people's court spirits and their ancestral spirits and like all that shit. And they can be one-on-one, personal, or you can have big group misas. But you gotta be strong as a fuck for that shit, because when I tell you I got my ass beat, I'm not talking figuratively. Like, I literally got pulled out of my fucking chair by one of my spirits and thrown around the room. Because I was being stubborn, and I was making excuses. They're like, get off your fucking ass, bitch. It's quite an experience. Everyone should have at least one in their life. Alright, well. You got kicked out of bed? When? When did that happen? I don't remember you saying anything about that. When did that happen, Carlene? Because you didn't tell me and David about it. I think I'm going to start reading on a psychic hotline in between my bookings. I'm seriously thinking about it, though. Shit. Seriously fucking thinking about it. Danny, what are you doing? You keep coming in and out and in and out and in and out. 2 months ago, my kid said, what the hell happened? You got pushed out of bed. Why didn't you tell me and David about that? I don't remember you telling us about that. Was your kid sleeping with you? I forgot to. My kids were cuddling with me. How could you forget something like that? How could you forget something like that? You need to go in there and tell David about that. Because he's the one that's going to be coming. I think he mentioned here like a week or something ago that he's going to try and get down there soon. I mean, yeah, but if you get fucking pulled out of your bed, that's kind of, I mean, you need to tell him about that. You need to tell him about that because he's the one that's going to be coming to your place. Because Miss Carlene is in Canada and I am not. So I have somebody else in Canada that can help her out, that has been helping her out. Yeah, go in there and tell David that happened. You need to be cleansing more. What about them crosses? You got one around your bed? The crosses I sent you? Was that before or after your necklace broke? You obviously need protection while you're sleeping. You can't wear that necklace while you're sleeping. But I'm asking you if you got pushed out of bed before or after your necklace was broke. And you should put one of them crosses above your bed. It was before you got the necklace. Well, that was longer than 2 months ago then. You need to put one of them crosses on your headboard above your head. If stuff is pushing you out of your bed or pulling you out of bed, you need to put one of those on your headboard. If that happened before I sent you the necklace, then that was a long time ago, girl. It was like a year ago. That wasn't 2 months ago. Listen, machete. Start swinging. Actually, there's more to it than just blessing it. When I said flaming machete, I was not kidding. I speak quite literally. I love machetes. I got like 6 of them laying right here. See, I could make you some shit like this, but I don't think they would make it through customs to Canada. I don't know about that. You know, spikes and little nail crosses and shit like that, yeah, but like full out fucking weapons, I don't know if that would make it through customs. You just forgot how long it was. I thought it was 2 months ago. Girl, I sent you that necklace like last winter. Like, if it ain't been a year, it's fucking close to a year. What else should you do about what, Danny? Did I miss something? Oh, for the machete? You gotta light that shit on fire. Well, I mean, these are... The reason I got this cleansing method is because I work with the Archangel Saint Michael. Right? He is the flaming sword from God and stuff, right? So that was one of the main reasons why I was given this type of cleansing to do. I had to invoke him. I had to pray to him and set this motherfucker on fire. Have some weapons that you're trying to incorporate in your practice. Weapons are great, especially if you're working with spirits. If you're working with spirits and you want protection, give them motherfuckers some weapons. Give them some weapons. You can fix machetes and put them over your doors. All your entrance doors and your, the ones that go in and outside of the house, the entrance and exit doors. You can bless these and fix them in a certain way and put them above your doors, and it will cut any caca shit, spiritual shit that tries to come into your house, and physical shit, because once or twice I've had one of these come down on somebody from above the doors. Nope, you're not allowed to come in here. Bye-bye. Weapons are good. That's why we use items when we're working and doing witchcraft. The items are a physical representation of the spiritual manifestation that we want to happen. So if we want protection, we use weapons in a spiritual way. We give them to our spirits. We fix them and cleanse them spiritually and give them a spiritual job. It's a physical representation of what we want spirit to do. That's why we use stuff. That's why we use herbs. That's why we, use all this shit that we use. Physical representation of the spiritual manifestation. So if you have protective spirit guides, you need to make sure they have weapons to protect you with. Mm-hmm. Different weapons are preferred by different spirits. Machetes are for my Congos and for St. Michael. Because I'm not angry. I mean, I could go out and buy a big ass fucking sword, I guess, but a machete works. And I have a lot of them. Alright, well, we're going on 8 o'clock. And if nobody has questions, I have better things to do with my time. Kind of a dull live tonight. I guess because it's Wednesday. It's Wicked Wednesday. Does anybody have questions? Anybody at all? Because I'm going to take my happy ass and go do something else. Rather than sit here and twiddle my thumbs. What do you have anything that I can use for it? For what, Carlene? For your backyard? Didn't we give you a bath to sprinkle around your property? Thought we did. I'm pretty sure I told you to go around your boundaries with salt. And didn't I send you spikes? Did I send you spikes? I thought I did. Did you ever get spikes for me? Could have swore I sent you some spikes. Especially because of your land. Alright, well, the salt and the bath, like I'm saying, you need to do these things more often. I sent you spikes and told you to use salt. Okay. Between the bath, the spikes, and the salt, you should be pretty good, but you need to refresh that salt. That salt barrier perimeter around your land, you need to refresh that once a month at least. Because it rains and, it washes it away. So you need to refresh that and reinforce it once a month. It wouldn't hurt doing the bath. Once a month, once every 3 months, take it out there and throw it around your yard and stuff. The spikes too, you need to make sure you keep feeding them and keep them refreshed every few months or so. Then you should be good to go. And did you do the 3 crosses above your door with the cascaria that I sent you? Then you should be good to go. Put salt in your windowsills too. All your windows. I know you got the mirrors because you fucking broke one. The spikes with the alcohol, yep. Did the 3 crosses above doors and windows, okay. Put salt in your doors and windows and refresh the perimeter of your land with the salt. Feed your spikes. Go through with the bath. And you should be good. And you can't get lazy about it. You should be cleansing your inside of your home no less than once a month. The outside, 1 to every 3 months. Make sure you get it done somewhere in there. Several times a year. I'm trying to manifest my ass a fucking convertible. I want a fucking convertible. I'm fixing to get this car fixed. I'm gonna sell it. And I'm gonna get me a motherfucking convertible. I know I can't get lazy about it, but I go through the depression thing and I know I have to go in. Maybe you would get a convertible. I'm gonna work on it. What are some ways you can use mirrors? Mirrors are very versatile, but they're great for protection. They can be, not protection if they're used wrongly. Used correctly, they're very good protection. I have instructed Carlene to put mirrors in windows facing out on each side of her home. This not only reflects witchcraft and stuff thrown your way, but it also repels a lot of spirits. A lot of spirits, if they see their reflection, they get freaked the fuck out and they run. Especially on her land. So mirrors are very good protections. Now, used wrongly, for example, you never hang a mirror inside your home on an outside facing wall, because that becomes a portal. So if you hang mirrors in your home, make sure they're on an inner wall that does not meet the outside on the other side of it. I had a pretty good friend of mine. I had to school her. She posted pictures on Facebook. She got this really pretty mirror, and she hung it right beside her front door. Girl, you just gonna put a door beside the door? I say hang it on the wall across from the door. So when you open the door, the mirror is right there, reflecting out. Much better. The mirror that I told you that broke, I didn't break it. The spirits did. Yeah, it took a hit. It took a hit. Because you got nasty caca land. But I know David said he's going to try and get down there pretty soon. He's having issues because your land is such a job, he can't really do it on his own. I mean, he could do it on his own, but it'd be a lot better if he had backup. And he hasn't really been able to find good backup to come with him. Well, we gave you prices. I mean, it was fucking ridiculous. So I think he might have found somebody now, which is why he's talking about coming down. Yeah, your thing is not like a normal cleansing thing because of your land. Like, two good espiritistas should be able to handle it. One on their own, it would be extremely draining. It would be a lot on one person, which is why he wants to bring someone. Okay, any more questions? I'm gonna get the fuck off of here. Got better things to do than sit here and not help people when I could go do other things and help people. So the pagan meet and greet this month, you have to build a local community. Get off your ass. What are you doing? So these meetings have a theme every month, right? So like last month, the theme was like gardening and herbs and plants. And I was like on board with that. I'm like, yeah, I can get on with that. And I took seeds and I shared seeds with everybody. And some of the women brought little plants. Like I got a little baby spider plant, which I'd actually been wanting for a while. And we traded plants and seeds, and we talked about herbs and their properties and like stuff like that. I could get on board with that. And I baked fucking cupcakes. This month, however, they set the date for the day before the solstice, which I don't really subscribe to solstices. I don't celebrate them. Don't really fuck with them because that's not something that my culture and my people did. But they set it for the day before the solstice next month. And they want to make flower crowns out of Dollar Tree fake flowers. And I gotta go to this fucking thing. I tell you, I'm gonna be the only one there not making a motherfucking flower crown, and it's gonna be awkward as fuck because I ain't fucking making one. I am not making one. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do with that shit? I'm not doing it, so it's gonna be weird. Everyone's gonna be sitting around making their little flower crowns, and I'm just gonna be sitting there like, y'all having fun? Yay. I ain't doing it. Nope. Why can't you just go out in the forest and make a real one? I'm telling you. They would have been better off saving that for like another month or two when the real flowers are around. Fake fucking flowers from the Dollar Tree. I had ideas, man. I had good ideas for workshops to do with these people. Like I thought I could buy materials and like just charge everybody like $25 or whatever for the materials, and we could all like make rattles. That would be a great project. Or I was gonna do a workshop on pinwheels. Like I could bring everybody like pinwheels and show them how to work that shit. And like I had ideas. Kind of got blowed off. I think one of the women, well, I think everyone's a little bit intimidated by me, but I think one woman in particular is kind of intimidated by me, and she worries that I'm gonna like take over like the group or the whole thing or something, which is definitely not what I want to do. So I mean she's all right. She's like friendly to my face and stuff, but she's scared of me. She's intimidated, and she's worried that I'm just going to take over everything that they're trying to build or something. And I'm like, I'm totally not doing that. Bendición, Oshun Messenger. Does anybody have any more questions? Anybody? I'm gonna go. Anybody at all? don't want to take over. I don't want to take it over at all, but she's kind of worried about that. Like, I think before I popped into the group, like, she was like the hot shot, you know, getting all the attention and kind of semi in charge, even though they say nobody's in charge. She's scared of me too. That's what I said, and you're not going to take... No, I'm not going to take it over. Absolutely not. I'm just supposed to get out and fucking socialize for some goddamn reason. So, I'm fucking doing it. If I don't do it, then I'm going to get in trouble and get my ass beat again. So, I'm working on it. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to go. Getting to know new people in a new crowd. Yeah. It really was. It was more of like a group therapy session. Because when I tell you that alternative religion people, and a lot of them are gay in the group, either gay or lesbian, they're part of the LGBTQIA community. So being in the South and being from the South and being that and of different spiritual beliefs comes with a lot of trauma from their families, from the churches they went to, from all that. So it's really kind of like a group therapy session where everybody just kind of comes in and trauma dumps. At least that's what the meeting I went to was like. Maybe the next one will be different because everyone's kind of... Because you had to go around the table and like say stuff about yourself and everything. So everybody just kind of trauma dumped, and it was more like a group therapy session. Maybe this month will be different because we're making fucking flower crowns from Dollar Tree. I don't know. If they're making them, I'm not going to make them. But I am going to make some bacon noodles and take that, and because I don't want to be known as Cupcake Lady, even though everyone loves them. I got to do it. I got to do the thing. I got to talk to the people and do the in-person and stuff, and because I don't want to get my ass beat again. You don't really seem like you don't like... I don't like it. I hate it. I fucking hate socializing. Fucking hate people. Everybody knows this. I am recluse. I never leave my house. I haven't left my house... Well, besides yesterday to go get my car out of the fucking impound, I don't think I've left my house in probably 3 fucking weeks. Like, I'm good. I don't need to go out there. You planted seeds. Seed planting is good. I'm still working on my greenhouse. We got it built, but now I have to clear the land where I'm going to put it, and then we're working on building garden beds and stuff because it's 25 foot long, which means I need 50 foot of fucking garden bed, you know, one on each side and everything. So working on building that shit, but hopefully it's gonna not hopefully, it is going to be done before the end of next month, and I'm gonna have my shit planted before the end of next month. I'm becoming tonight like a lot of people. I don't know what's going on tonight. I guess because it's Wednesday. 58,000 fucking TikTok followers. Nobody in here. You're moving in 2 weeks. I'm freaking out. Why? Why are you freaking out? Did you not want to move? Hey, those are the best, man. Those big leaps that you're most scared of doing, do that shit. Do that shit. I'm becoming to not like a lot of people around here or social media too. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. I want to pick my house up and move it out into the middle of the fucking national forest and just never leave. Oh no. We have to people, and we hates people. We have to do it. I'm gonna move on a lake, go get lake effect shit. Moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, that is a big jump. I personally prefer the East Coast, but that's me. For a job or something, it's just a big leap out of nowhere. Leaving family on purpose, like you want to leave family, but like cutting off, or you don't want to leave them. Things are a lot more expensive on the West Coast, I know that. It's way more expensive out there than living on the East Coast. Unless you live in New York City. New York City is probably comparable to living on the West Coast. Alright, well, again, I'm going to pop off of here. If nobody's asking questions, I really don't like TikTok. I used to do my lives on YouTube, but I don't have that many followers on there after all these years for some reason, because YouTube doesn't put my videos out there. I've only got like 3,000, 4,000 followers on YouTube for like 9 years of fucking videos. But on here, I had a couple of videos go viral. So I was over 60,000. I think I'm down like 58,000 now, but that's still a fuck ton more than I got on YouTube. So I come on here because I'm like, I got all these people on here. They still don't put my fucking live out to people. They'll put my videos out to go viral, but they won't put my lives out. Good night, Carlene. I think I'm going myself because I don't think anybody has any fucking questions. Let me see what these notifications are saying. I got a message about a convertible. What did I just saying that shit? Someone fucking messaged me. Alright, well, no questions. I'm gonna go. So any of the, I gotta give Elise her cards back. Any of the classes, products, or anything like that that I have mentioned tonight are most likely available on my website, primitiverootsconjure.com. You can follow me on YouTube. This live will be uploaded there. After it's done, it's Primitive Roots Conjure on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook at Primitive Roots Appalachian Conjure. Instagram, primitive_roots_conjure. I'm all over the place, and it's always Primitive Roots Conjure in some way, shape, or form. So, may your week be blessed. May all your ancestors have all the necessary light and elevation they need to properly guide you on your path. And I will see you all in the future when I have some time again. I hope I helped y'all. Oh my god, where's the fucking button? Is that the button? Thank you.